Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Grace. I'm with Quest Nutrition. I'll be your host for this evening for our Quest for Impact panel. The Quest for Impact is a $20,000 grant that's awarded to local organizations that create meaningful impact on their community. We launched this grant last year, and we are very, very excited to present to you some of our grant recipients we have with us today. They are going to be, I'm going to just point around because I'm not sure how it looks on your side of the camera. We have Aurelius Cooper, who is the founder of Art in the Paint. We have Brandon Dean Johnson, CEO of Create Now. And we also have Giselle Carrillo, who is the founder of Los Courage Counts. So we are going to be talking to them tonight, and you're going to learn from them how the Quest for Impact grant has affected and impacted the organization, and also how it benefited them and the different lives that it had touched. So behind the scenes right now, you can't see them, is the rest of the Quest team, Alyssa and Crystal. Hi. They're going to be periodically dropping the link of how you can apply in the chat, and also can answer any questions. So for the Quest for Impact grant, if you are interested, you could go to the website, which is questforimpact.com. We are open for applications right now, and they do close on April 6th. So make sure if you know someone or if you yourself want to apply, to do it before April 6th. And again, our team is back here, so go ahead and say hello to them. And also, if you have any questions, they'll do their best to answer them. So for us to start off, I'm going to have every single person on our panel introduce themselves. So they're going to tell us their name, their organization, the role that they play in the organization, as well as what their organization does, who it benefits, and also, just for fun, I always love to know, what is your favorite Quest product? So I'm just going to point to my right, which might be everyone else's left or somewhere else. I'm going to start with Aurelius and have him introduce himself.
Brandon, go ahead. Like that. You want? I can take it if you want me to. Sorry, Grace. But you guys, my name is Brandon Johnson. I am the CEO of Create Now. And what we do is we provide free art programming for youth all across Los Angeles. We've been around for 25 years, and we've served over 50,000 kids in Los Angeles. We provide all different types of art programming, such as dance, singing, acting, film, animation, and the list goes on and on. So yeah, Grace, did that answer all of your questions? I got the Quest product.
Did you throw in the Quest product? Which one is it?
I'm about to do it right now. The cheese crackers. The new cheese crackers are my favorite thing ever. I don't know why. They're so cheesy and crunchy. Best thing. So
that's me. I love them too. They're one of my favorites. I think that's a very good choice. Well, Brandon, who would you like to throw this to for the next person?
Let's go with Giselle.
I had a 50-50 chance for that one. My name is Giselle Carrillo. I am the founder and executive director now, I guess, thanks to the Quest grant, for our community organization, Los Courage Camps. It's something that came to me in a dream, and to see it be a reality and to continue to grow into, helping more children in the city of Los Angeles. What we do is we teach the children, the diverse children in the city of Los Angeles, how to surf completely for free, and also give them everything that they need to feel welcomed in a space that tends to have a lot of barriers to access. So to date, we have helped 350 children and more. And that has been in our grassroots years and in our first year as an official 501c3 nonprofit. But nice to have everyone here. And my favorite product. I was going to grab some, actually. The Quest tortilla chips. Still my number one through time. The nacho cheese. I put them in everything, by themselves, in my food. I carry some in my car.
Awesome. Well, I guess that leaves Aurelius.
All right. My name is Aurelius Cooper. I'm the executive director of Art in the Paint, where we use sports and art to mobilize communities, inspire equitable play, and inspire a higher quality of life. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Recently, there's been a ton of shootings amongst kids in Atlanta, Georgia. And one of the ways that we want to curb that is through equitable play. What that means is
I think the stat says, I think 70% of kids that are born into poverty never get to play sports. We can change that. We fix that. We paint basketball courts and have free basketball leagues for the kids in our community and around the world. To date, we've served actually about 20,000 kids, but we service about 12,000 kids in Metro Atlanta. I like the chips. I really like the chips. All the chips are really, really good. I love the chips.
Awesome. I love hearing that because you guys, all three of you guys have mentioned my favorite Quest products as well. And for those of you who may be curious, my other favorite Quest product happens to be our frosted cookies. I especially love the birthday cake flavor. Oh, Aurelius?
The little peanut butter cups.
Yes.
Those
Yes.
are they have a special place in my heart. They're not the chips, but they're very close. They're very
Okay.
close. And they go fast in my house.
I'm sure they do. Some of you may be wondering where Paulana is. She has some conflicts, but hopefully she'll be able to join us. And if she does, she'll pop right in and we'll just roll her into the conversation as well. So meanwhile, we have Aurelius, Brandon, and Giselle here. So I'm going to start off some questions. And I want to start off with Giselle. Not because it's ladies first, but because Giselle has a very interesting story. She, as she knows, she used to work with us and she was a Quest employee before the grant was created, which is kind of pretty awesome. So what I wanted to ask Giselle, I always love talking to you about this, is what did it mean to you to have the company that you used to work for and all your previous colleagues like recognize you for what you do and what those courage camps have been able to accomplish? And please tell us about that and how were you able to utilize the $20,000 grant towards your community service?
Yes. Well, yeah, I did, like Grace mentioned, used to work for Quest Nutrition, and it was I've actually had a career switch. I have a job outside of what I do with Los Courage Camps, my 9 to 5. Courage Camps is my 5 to 9. And Quest was my dream job. I was somebody who had left teaching and made this massive career jump into health, wellness, nutrition. My parents thought I was crazy. And to leave after 7 years of being at my dream company for another growth opportunity was incredibly hard. But we had already started to talk about giving back as a company, about empowering all these people who aren't just trying to transform their personal lives, but are also transforming their communities. And when I left Quest, I thought we had kind of just left it as an idea on a Post-it sitting on a wall. And then my past coworkers gave me a call just to catch up and surprise me that they were actually taking that idea, and that in the conversations had continued to talk about these things that I kept telling everybody on my team I was working on my weekends. And so to know that the power of that story, of this tiny community movement, as you can tell, we're so new compared to Brandon and Aurelius. We're in the hundreds, they're in the 10,000s of kids that they're helping. For a whole team to breathe life into that and to build a program around that is truly an honor. I feel like now we are impacting more than just the kids that come through those Courage Camps, if those were the seeds that we left there. But with the grant, the Quest Impact Grant, we were able to actually become a nonprofit officially. It is a tedious process. It is an expensive process. Previous to this year, I'd essentially paid for everything for those Courage Camps out of my own pocket. And to have the opportunity and the resources and a foundation to actually be able to get a legal team and do all of the paperwork that is necessary, and to actually double our surf camps this past year really set that foundation, just like a house needs a foundation. I feel like we never really had that. And so I think easily without the Quest grant, I would have possibly gotten tired or possibly not found a way to expand and grow our movement. And so it has been really transformative for me to now know that we are a legacy organization. And there's so many other things that we did with this grant, but ultimately we are now officially a nonprofit that's going to stick around in the city of Los Angeles for years to come. Even if someday, I have to step away or there's a better person to lead this movement, it's time. And I'm glad that Quest was able to be there to help us make it possible.
Yes, and Giselle, we were so excited to be able to present it to you. Like, you're just such a wonderful person, and we knew that this was meant to be, and it was something that we knew that you were going to take and create something bigger than yourself and breathe some life that's really necessary for these children that you're able to help and give them, to your point, the name of their organization, those courage camps, to give them that courage to go out and see the world with different eyes that they weren't able to have the opportunity to do before. And, so with that, I want to pivot over to Brandon, who also happens to be in Los Angeles with Create Now. Create Now has so many different programs. Like I'm going to let you talk a little bit more about them. But not only do you have these programs, it also spans a wide range of ages for what you're able to provide for the children and youth that coming into adulthood. So I would love you to talk about a little bit more about that, and how has the Quest for Impact grant helped you, and the type of programs that you're able to now provide for these young people.
Gotcha. Yeah. The age range that we serve is 3 to 24. And that's a huge gap, but it needs to be done. I mean, at 24, I wasn't the adult that I am right now. And, a lot of people think that 24, you're good to go. But no, there's a lot of people at that age that just need help. And a lot of them, they might be in a situation that they don't want to talk to other people about. So we just want to be that the open arms for them to come in if they do need our assistance in any way. With that, what we've done last year with the grant impact is we were able to provide programs such as culinary arts, but also something new, which is a creative career fair, where older youth were able to learn about jobs that they could potentially pursue in the future. And this really opened the doors for us to continue doing it years to come. Where this is going to be an annual event for us, and we already have it planned for this year on July 15th. Last year, we had some big companies come out and talk to these kids, offer interns, offer advice, and just ways to help these youth change their lives through the arts. So through that, we served about 100 kids during that career fair, and we plan on serving more with the next one coming up this year in years to come.
Wonderful. And also, I think you mentioned that there's also was it a fashion class as well, fashion designing, and then for the little ones, there's some sort of painting, and there's some sort of animation, computer type of classes too.
Yeah, I mean, we do everything creative. So yes, we do have classes where we are teaching animation. We have classes where kids are making fashion. All of our classes pretty much vary to the location or the amount of kids, the supplies that we have. But we're able to tap into our resources of teaching artists and say, hey, this area needs this. Can we get it done? And we do it. And the cool thing about what we do is a lot of times these kids come in not wanting to be there. The first day of school type, like, I don't really want to do this. This is boring. But by 30 minutes in, they're excited. They're like, wow, this is art. Like, I didn't think that I was able to do it. Thank you for allowing us to do this. And it can really change a kid's life for the better.
And I really I think I read somewhere about how with just everyone, but kids especially, the kinesiology, right? That be able to touch things and create with their hands, the tactileness. I think it helps them. I think it's helped everyone with stress and having their day-to-day, obstacles or barriers that they might have to come across, right? So that's wonderful that your program allows them to have that immersiveness instead of just sitting back and watching. And a lot like with Aurelius, with art and the paint, that's like literally is what you do. You're out there painting, and you have the volunteers that are, actually, taking the paintbrushes and learning about art as well, but a little differently. With art and the paint, you're known for being a community centers without walls, and you also work with the different community leaders to determine what's most needed in that community and help you identify the the different infrastructures besides, mainly basketball courts, but there are other ones too, where it needs to be revitalized. And you had said it, earlier about the different programs you do and why it's there and why it's important. So I would love for you to expand a little bit about that. And also, how has the grant helped you further this?
Okay. Number one, thank you. Number two, one of the coolest things that we got to do was actually work with Brandon, and we were able to help be a part of a mural in LA, which was really, really, really cool. Long story short, the Quest grant meant a lot to us because we've always been community centers without walls. We've always had art programming. We've always had sports programming. This has helped us to become a community multiplier. We've been able to utilize the wonderful media attention, the support, the snacks, and everything to find better community partners and find people who are in the battle with us to create equitable play spaces for children. I think since we got with Quest, I want to say we have 15 new partners with everything from schools, police departments, new cities, and it's really just made the $20,000. Basically, I think we did the numbers on it, turn to about 900,000 in terms of what we've generated since then, which is just an amazing thing. And sometimes just that little bit of stability can get you to the place where you can be sustainable. And we're now a sustainable nonprofit because of Quest.
Love hearing that. I love hearing everyone's stories, and especially, how we were a part of your growth and taking you to the next level. So with that, I also want to find out from all three of you, what is next for you and the organization? It's been almost a year, I think. And like I said, I mentioned that we are in the process of looking for year 2 for grant recipients. And, where applications are open right now. So I'd love to hear from you guys about what is your next for your organization, as well as why should someone apply? Like, if someone's on the fence, what kind of words or advice you might have for them. Let's start with Brandon.
Perfect. I'll take this. What's next? I mean, we're very focused on creative careers now. The career fair really showed us hey, this is something that we should be teaching, showing youth, not just take our classes, but also you can have a career in this. How do we do this? So, we did the creative career fair. Now we're doing something called breakout rooms where kids are learning from a professional one-on-one, and they can spend an hour and a half talking to that person about how that person made it into their career path. And this would have never happened without us getting the encouragement from the Quest grant. So that's what we plan on doing next, is really focusing on not just having fun in the art class, but also showing them that they can do this for real in the future. And the way that the Quest grant has impacted me and why people should apply is, personally, this was my first grant that I ever applied for as the CEO of Create Now. We had lost our founder at the beginning of last year in January, and she was our grant writer, and she just held so much information with her. So with her passing, I was at rock bottom, just handling that and also the nonprofit at the same time. But when I got the news that, I got this, I was like, wow, perfect. This shows me that I need to keep going, and I am ready to make that move. So yeah, so I'm very thankful for what we've received from you guys, not only for our kids, but also for myself, because it really supported me. And sorry, my grandpa just walked by. So
It's wonderful. That's so great. Giselle, why don't you tell a little bit about what's next with you? And also, I actually wanted to ask you about, I know there's so many of the kids that you take out is the first time that they see water, right? The first time they've actually been to the ocean. So I'd love you to talk a little bit about that, when, as well as when you explain to people why this is important to have a dream and to apply for a grant like this.
Man, it's for us, we call Los Courage Camps because we believe that courage is that emotion that sits between fear of trying things in life and the endless possibility of trying anything you ever want in life. And so we have hijacked the ability, or not hijacked, but hacked our way into teaching children how to tap into that courage. Like Aurelius mentioned, there's so many children living in underrepresented communities where sports is not as accessible to them as other children in different neighborhoods. The ocean, and it's been researched more and more, has the ability to heal very quickly compared to many other activities. And I don't have the data, we're still looking for it, and the science is still starting. But just think about a day when you go to the ocean and it washes so many of the things that you carry away. Our communities need that. In terms of what comes next, there's other things I totally forgot to mention in my first answer that the grant allowed us to do and gave us some financial backing to do, like having a website. We actually only used to operate off of an Instagram account. And so we were actually able to lay some infrastructure and have a registration system so that more children can register through the fall and the winter and the spring, because we do only teach in the summer. No one wants to be surfing in the rain. And another thing that's coming for us is that we're actually seeing children come back year after year. And so the board and I do have a board now, decided that we needed to build a program and a separate channel for the families and children that continue to come back each summer. And to not only mentor them in the ocean, but mentor them outside of life or in life. So we call that the Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Surf. And we have a lot of excited surfers in Los Angeles that we're now able to coordinate and communicate with because we have the help. And the third thing that next year is going to bring is because now we are a nonprofit, officially a 501c3, we were able to finalize a partnership with a new hotel that is being built in Venice Beach. And if you're not from Los Angeles, Venice Beach is just the epitome of beach culture, colorful, vibrant, murals everywhere, palm trees everywhere. And we would have never necessarily been able to afford real estate there. But what we were able to do is secure a partnership with a hotel that is going to grant us a surf locker. And so we're able to store a quiver, is what we call it, of surfboards, a quiver of wetsuits. And now families and children can quickly access surfboards right by the beach and parking. So it gives us almost a home base, a headquarters right there in Venice Beach. So lots of things happening, follow along in our journey as we expand. But yeah, we'll be surfing a lot more and teaching more lessons on courage away from the ocean, maybe at this hotel that we're talking about, to mentor kids.
Great. That's, I love always hearing your stories. It's just so inspirational. And Giselle, I think about the ocean, what you're talking about, I think a lot of it is about the negative ions. But they talk about how the ocean brings that in. So it helps you balance you, because a lot of times in our lives, we end up, there's other things. I forgot what it is exactly. Again, the research needs to be there. I know the research is there for this, but we absorb a lot of positive ions. Mm-hmm. So when you go to the ocean, the negative ions helps balance you out. That's why a lot of times you go there, that's where the magic is. So I love the fact that you're there in the water, getting the kids out there to be able to find their inner courage. And Aurelius, I know you're sitting here going, she's about to call on me next, and I am. So I want you to, because in the beginning you mentioned something about equitable play. Can you talk a little bit more about that and what that means and why is that important in general?
I live in a city that has the biggest wealth gap in America. And one of the things that we found is only 30% of the kids that are under the poverty line ever get to play sports. So for us, we start off building the places, but we've been able to acquire partnerships now to pay for uniforms. We get referees. We partner with other organizations. So there's no reason a kid in Atlanta that wants to play basketball or soccer will ever have to pay for it or ever have to worry about it. So one of the biggest things with that is kids that play sports are 15% more likely to go to college and graduate. Normally they have better grades. Normally they have better esteem, and they socialize differently too. And there's also some studies about mental health as it pertains to kids that play sports as well. So for us, it might not be, we're not making NBA players, right? But we're making hopefully better citizens and people who are more adapt to their communities. And also, even if you're not playing, we have health fairs. We have services that people have access to. We partner with Morehouse School of Medicine to have community health fairs to make sure that people get screenings and are able to basically live healthier lifestyles. One of the other things that we're doing is we're going to launch an app soon called Pickup Nation. One of the bigger barriers that you'll see is kids have a lack of access to transportation. I think, Grace, when you came to Atlanta, you saw we actually had a play space at a transit station. One of the cool things that we're doing now is if you play on the team and you miss 2 straight weeks, your coach is probably not going to play you that 3rd week. By having organized pickup games, we're not going to have children be penalized for missing games or missing practices. Anybody who registers can come in, they can play, they can get their needs assessed for outside services as well. And hopefully we can serve even more people. I think right now from fundraising, we have the capacity to serve about 3,000 kids.
That's so amazing. I love it. It's like everyone, like all 3 of you had such inspirational and amazing stories. And I just love sitting with you guys and just hearing more and more, because it makes me think there's just so much more that can be done. And, and it's just amazing that we have people like you out there who are the catalysts of this type of change and out there inspiring others to keep it going, So thank you. Thank you to you 3 here, living and breathing and doing something to give back to our community. That really is very heartwarming, and I love that. I know we're kind of coming close to the end of our panel together, and I want to thank all 3 of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be with us today and to talk about this and sharing with our audience the importance of just you got to apply, and you never know, you could get the grant and things could really change from that. And also I wanted to end it on a different note. I think I already did this to you guys already, but I'm going to do it again. I would like each one of you to give me 3 words on what community means to you. And because Aurelius, your eyes went the widest, I'm going to have you start us off to give us 3 words of what community means to you.
So my 3 words are not being alone.
I love it. That's awesome. Brandon.
That's cheating. Being alone. Jeopardy? Hold on. Okay. I mean, 3 words that community, home, love, and hope. Those are the 3 things that really stick out to me. And yeah, that's all I can think of right now. Love, yeah. Because you want to love where you are. You want to hope for the best. I forgot my 3rd word already, but
I cheated.
You did, man. Yeah, Giselle, go. Can Giselle go and I'll come back to me real quick?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Giselle.
Oh man, I don't think I prepared for this question, but Brandon, whatever you said earlier, I liked it. It means so many things, but I think I'll switch it a little bit. I think the things I feel when I feel in community is I feel hugged, and I always want the children that come to a day of serving with us to feel like we've hugged them somehow. I think that they feel warm. Warm is another word that I think of, and that's probably why we only do surf camps in the summer, so they can all feel very warm inside. And I feel cleansed. Anytime I'm around community, in community, I feel like the heavy things really just wash away seamlessly. So tying it back to our surf camps.
You guys I love it. I love everything you said. So for me, the community, what it means right now is going to be art, create, and courage. And on that note, thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. To the audience, to our panelists, our wonderful recipients for this year, and hopefully people who are out there, maybe you will be here next year. Thank you. Good night.